This is day 2 of bar graphs and histograms, and I just feel like you need to have some additional practice. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time or go over too many of these with you. I just want to remind you of a few things. So for page 1, I think it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you read the questions carefully and answer what it's asking for. So you'll be using this bar graph for 1 through 10. On this next page, all you're doing is you are using the tables and you're matching them to the correct graph. Okay? So you're going to match a table to one of these graphs, cross it off when you use it, put your answer, and then take a look at the next one. So it's just a matching page. Page 3 is pretty straightforward as well. Just remember that these two histograms are different in the way that we read it. Whenever we just have numbers right here between each bar, we read it from the left-hand side. So this is going to be 5 all the way up until 10. So 5 all the way up to 9.9, but once it hits 10, it's considered to be the second bar. So this second bar would be 10 all the way to 14.9. Once it's 15, it belongs to this third bar. So this becomes 15 to 19.9. Once it gets to 20, though, it belongs to this fourth bar, which goes to 24.9, which once it gets to 25, it belongs to this bar right here, the fifth bar. Here, this histogram, because I gave you a range of numbers, these numbers are included in each bar. So that should be pretty straightforward. And the part that I believe students would have had most difficulty with on day 1 is this part of the homework. So you're matching the data to the histogram. So I want to go ahead and I want to do one of these problems with you just so that you can see how to go about solving. All of these histograms start at 0 and end at 50. Now because it's just each number between the bars, remember how we read it. This right here is 0 to 9.9, but when I look here, there's no fractions, it's all whole numbers. So this first is going to be 0 to 9. The second bar is where 10 starts, so it's going to be 10 to 19. The third bar starts at 20 and will end at 29. The fourth bar will start at 30 and end at 39. And this fifth bar will start at 40 and end at 49. So that means all of the 1s will be in the first bar, all of the 10s will go in the second bar, 20s will be in the third bar, 30s will be in the fourth bar, and 40s will be in the fifth bar. So let's say I wanted to find the histogram that corresponds with number 1. I know all of the 1s will be in the first bar. So there are 5 1s. All of the 10s will be in the second bar, and there are 3 10s. All of the 20s will be in the third bar. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 20s. All of the 30s will be in the fourth bar, and there's 4 of those. And all the 40s, there's only 1, will go in the fifth bar. So I'm going to take a look at these and see which one has 5 in the first bar, 3 in the second, 5 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. I think it's probably going to be easiest to notice where the 1 is. So 1 in the fifth bar. None of these work. This is at 1, and this is at 1, and this is at 1. But these don't work either. So I have 3 options right now just by looking at 1s being in the fifth bar. So it could either be D, F, or G. So now I have to look at the other data. keeping these three in mind, which one has 5 in the first bar? So not this one, not this one, but this one does. So that means F is the answer to number 1. And again, you can check it just to be sure. There are 5 in the first bar, like what we said. There's 3 in the second, 5 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. It's a perfect match. So keeping that in mind, try the rest of the worksheet.